Ethan Miller stood at the viewport of the transport ship, watching the massive space station grow larger. The Interspecies Military Academy floated against the backdrop of stars, its ring-shaped structure rotating slowly to create artificial gravity. Ethan took a deep breath. After 5 years in the Marines, he thought nothing could surprise him anymore. He was wrong. 3 months ago, aliens had made contact with Earth. They called humans Deathworlders, creatures who evolved on a planet so dangerous that it made them naturally stronger than most species in the galaxy. Now, Ethan and 3 other humans were the first to attend the academy. Nervous? Lisa Howard appeared beside him. She was shorter than Ethan, with dark skin and quick eyes that noticed everything. Back on Earth, she had been an engineering prodigy. Not nervous, just ready to get started, Ethan said. Daniel Wright joined them at the viewport. His military haircut and perfect posture showed his Army background. I heard their gravity settings are much lower than Earth's. We might be able to jump 10 feet high in there. Great, just what we need. To look even more strange to them, Catherine Martinez said as she approached. Everyone called her Kate. She spoke 7 Earth languages and had already learned the basics of 3 alien ones. The transport docked with a gentle bump. A voice came over the speakers in slightly robotic English. Human delegates, welcome to the Interspecies Military Academy. Please proceed through the airlock for orientation. The 4 humans grabbed their bags and walked through the connecting tube. On the other side, they froze. Dozens of alien species filled the arrival hall. Some had multiple limbs, others had scales or feathers, and a few seemed to float rather than walk. A tall insect-like creature approached them. It had 4 arms and a blue exoskeleton that clicked softly as it moved. I am Commander Zarex of the Palaxian Cooperative. I will be your primary contact at the Academy. Its mandibles moved strangely as it spoke through a translation device. We have prepared special quarters for you that match Earth conditions. As they followed Commander Zarex through the station, aliens moved aside, watching the humans with a mixture of fear and curiosity. They act like we might bite, Lisa whispered. They might not be wrong, Daniel said. I read the briefing. Many species here evolved on low-gravity worlds with stable climates. They think Earth is basically hell. Kate smiled at a small bird-like alien who quickly looked away. We're ambassadors now. We need to show them humans aren't monsters. Commander Zarex led them to a training room filled with strange equipment. This is where basic physical assessment begins. All new cadets must be evaluated. The first test involved lifting weights. When Ethan easily lifted what was labeled as maximum difficulty, the monitoring aliens began whispering to each other. The running test was even more telling. On the treadmill, Ethan and the others maintained a pace that had the observers checking their equipment for malfunctions. The gravity here is only about 60% of Earth's, Lisa said between easy breaths. We could do this all day. By the end of the physical tests, a crowd of alien cadets had gathered to watch. Ethan noticed one group in particular, reptilian aliens with green scales who whispered to each other while staring at the humans with narrow eyes. Commander Zarex approached with another alien who wore what appeared to be a science uniform. Impressive performance. However, we have a problem. You have exceeded the limitations of our standard equipment. The science officer nodded. We must place you in the special training program. Your physical capabilities are beyond our normal parameters. As they left the training room, Ethan caught Daniel's eye. Daniel nodded slightly. He had noticed it too. The special training program wasn't just about accommodation. They were being separated for observation. Did you see how they looked at us? Kate asked quietly. Like we're weapons, Lisa said. Ethan watched as Commander Zarex spoke into a communication device, glancing back at the humans. Maybe we are, he said. 1 week into their training at the academy, Ethan and his fellow humans discovered a clear pattern. They struggled with the advanced science classes, but dominated any physical challenge. This anti-gravity theory makes no sense, Ethan muttered as he stared at his tablet. The four humans sat together in the Academy's dining hall, surrounded by empty seats. Most alien cadets kept their distance. Lisa pointed to a formula on her screen. The math is fine. We're just behind on the concepts. While they're behind on push-ups, Daniel said with a small smile. That morning, he had completed 100 push-ups, while the strongest alien cadet managed only 15. Kate looked up from her language studies. They're watching us again. Across the hall, a group of tall, reptilian aliens stared at the humans. Their leader, Vornthal, had green scales and yellow eyes with vertical pupils. When he noticed Kate looking back, he made a sound like a hiss. The Draconids think we don't belong here, Kate said quietly. Vornthal told me humans are too primitive to join the galactic community. We'll prove them wrong, Ethan said. Later that day, they entered the environmental training chamber. Commander Zirex waited inside with several other instructors. Today we test adaptation to extreme conditions, Zirex announced. We will simulate various planetary environments. The exercise stops when you signal discomfort. The first test was cold. The temperature dropped steadily. Alien cadets began to exit after just 10 minutes. The humans stayed for 30 before the instructors ended the test. The heat test produced similar results. While the other species retreated quickly, the humans endured temperatures that made them sweat, but weren't truly dangerous for them. Your species has remarkable temperature tolerance, Commander Zirex noted, making entries in his datapad. Daniel shrugged. Earth has deserts and Arctic regions. Humans live in both. The final test that day involved low oxygen. As the air thinned, Ethan felt his breathing quicken, but he remained standing. Most alien cadets had already left the chamber. Suddenly, alarms blared. System malfunction, a computerized voice announced. Oxygen levels critical. Chamber lockdown initiated. The few remaining alien cadets collapsed. The door sealed shut automatically. Emergency override failing, Commander Zirex said, his voice calm but his four hands moving quickly over the control panel. Ethan looked at his teammates. We have minutes before they suffer brain damage. Lisa rushed to the control panel. The safety protocols are locked. We need to bypass them. While Lisa worked with Commander Zirex, Ethan and Daniel moved among the fallen aliens, checking their conditions. Kate helped a small bird-like alien with delicate features and soft blue feathers. This is Alora, Kate said. She needs air now. Ethan nodded. Lisa, focus on the door. We'll carry them out. Lisa's fingers flew across the alien controls. Almost. Got it. The door slid open halfway and stuck. Daniel and Ethan began pushing unconscious aliens through the gap. Kate carried Alora gently in her arms. Once everyone was safe, medical teams rushed forward with breathing equipment. Commander Zirex approached the humans. You were instructed to exit when uncomfortable, he said. We weren't uncomfortable yet, Lisa replied. And we couldn't leave them, Ethan added, gesturing toward the recovering aliens. Later, as they walked back to their quarters, they passed Vornthal and his group. Instead of the usual hostile stare, the Draconid gave them a slight nod. Maybe we earned some respect today, Daniel said. Ethan wasn't so sure, or they realized we're more dangerous than they thought. In his private office, Commander Zirex recorded his daily report. The human cadets continue to exceed physical parameters. Their endurance surpasses all known species. Their protective instincts extend beyond their own kind. He paused before adding, the Defense Council must reconsider their threat assessment. These Deathworlders could be our greatest allies, or our most formidable enemies. 1 month into their time at the Academy, all cadets gathered in the main hall. Commander Zirex stood on a raised platform, his blue exoskeleton gleaming under the lights. The annual war games will begin next week, he announced. All cadets will form teams based on their species. This is our most honored tradition. Excited whispers filled the room. Ethan looked at his fellow humans, all thinking the same thing. They would be the smallest team with just 4 members. As the crowd broke up, Allura approached them. Since the training accident, the bird-like alien had become friendly with Kate. "The war games are very important," Allura said, her feathers rippling with excitement. "Winners gain high status and better assignments after graduation." "What exactly are these games?" Lisa asked. "Combat simulations, survival challenges, and strategy tests," Allura explained. "Each team represents their homeworld." Daniel smiled. "Sounds like we'll be Team Earth." Later that day, they met in their special training room to plan. Daniel pulled up information about previous war games on his tablet. "Most teams have at least 20 members," he said. "We're outnumbered 5-1. "But we have advantages," Ethan pointed out. "We're stronger and can endure more." Lisa nodded. "And I've been studying their technology. I can modify our equipment to work better for humans." "What about Vornthal's team?" Kate asked. The Draconids had made it clear they considered humans unworthy opponents. "They've won 3 years running," Daniel said. "They're the favorites again." Ethan stood up. "Then we train harder. We need to use what makes us different." For the next week, they practiced in higher gravity than the competition would use. They ran longer distances, lifted heavier weights, and slept less. When other teams trained for 4 hours, the humans trained for 8. Daniel developed tactics that used human endurance against alien technology. Lisa created equipment adaptations that played to their strengths. Kate learned enough of each opponent's language to understand basic commands. 2 days before the games, Kate discovered something concerning. She was in the language lab, practicing Verconid phrases, when she accessed a file by mistake. That evening, she showed the others what she found. "These are classified reports about us," she explained. "The Academy has been evaluating humans as potential threats." The reports described humans as unpredictable, surprisingly adaptable, and concerning in their combat potential. "So we're not just cadets," Lisa said. "We're test subjects." Daniel looked troubled. "Makes sense. If you discovered a new species that could potentially outfight yours, you'd want to study them." "There's more," Kate continued. "Some alien governments want Earth quarantined. They think we're too dangerous to join the galactic community. While others want to recruit us as soldiers," Ethan added, reading further. "We're caught in the middle of galactic politics." The night before the war games, they couldn't sleep. They sat together in their common room, considering what lay ahead. "Whatever happens tomorrow," Ethan said, "we represent Earth. We need to show them humans can be both strong and honorable." Daniel nodded. "We use our advantages but fight fair. And we stick together," Lisa added. Kate looked at each of them. "We're not just fighting for ourselves anymore. The future of human-alien relations might depend on how we perform." As they prepared their equipment, Ethan felt the weight of responsibility. Across the station, alien leaders would be watching, judging whether humans were allies or enemies. "Team Earth," he said, putting his hand in the center of their circle. The others placed their hands on top of his. Tomorrow, they would show the galaxy what Deathworlders could do. The war games began with a ceremony in the Academy's largest arena. 10 teams stood in formation, each wearing their planet's colors. Team Earth wore blue and green uniforms that Lisa had modified to enhance their movement. Commander Zirex addressed the gathered cadets and spectators. "Today we test skills that may one day save lives in real combat. The first challenge begins in 1 hour." As the teams left to prepare, Vornthal approached the humans. "Your presence here amuses me," the Draconid said. "4 primitives against the best the galaxy offers." "Save the talk for after we beat you," Ethan replied calmly. The first challenge took place in a massive simulation room. When the teams entered, the bare walls transformed into a dense jungle environment. "Capture the flag scenario," announced the judge. Each team must defend their base while capturing opponent flags. Elimination occurs through tag sensors on your uniforms. Team Earth was assigned a small clearing as their base. Other teams had twice as many members and better technology. "They expect us to lose quickly," Daniel said as they huddled together. Then let's surprise them, Ethan replied. He outlined a plan that made the others smile. While other teams set up defensive perimeters with energy barriers and sensor arrays, the humans did something unexpected. They camouflaged their flag using mud and leaves, then disappeared into the jungle. "Where are the humans?" asked a confused Palaxian cadet as his team swept the area where Team Earth should have been defending. The answer came soon enough. Instead of defending, all 4 humans had gone on the offensive. They moved silently through the trees, using skills that came naturally to a species that had once been hunters on a dangerous world. Lisa had modified their sensors to work better in the jungle. Daniel had mapped routes that avoided the main paths. Kate had learned enough about each species to predict their tactics. Within the first hour, Team Earth had eliminated 3 teams and captured 2 flags. The alien spectators watched in stunned silence as the humans moved faster, climbed higher, and endured longer than anyone expected. "They don't rely on technology," one Academy instructor noted. "They use the environment itself as a weapon." By midday, only 3 teams remained: the humans, Vornful's Draconids, and a team of tentacled Mariacs who specialized in ambushes. The Mariacs caught Kate alone near a stream. 3 of them surrounded her, their tentacles ready to tag her sensors. But they hadn't counted on human reaction speed. Kate jumped straight up, grabbing a branch 12 feet above her head. As the Mariacs looked up in surprise, she swung to safety. "Did you see that?" gasped an alien spectator. "No species should be able to jump that high in this gravity." The final confrontation came at sunset. Team Earth had captured all flags except the one guarded by Vornful's team. The Draconids had built a fortress around their flag, with energy barriers and motion sensors. "Front approach is suicide," Daniel said as they observed from the trees. Lisa studied the barrier. "Their power source is there, behind those rocks. If I can reach it, I can shut down their defenses." "They'll be watching for that," Ethan pointed out. "Not if they're distracted," Kate suggested. They formed a plan. Ethan and Daniel would create a diversion at the front entrance. Meanwhile, Lisa would circle around to the power source while Kate provided cover. The plan worked perfectly until one of the Draconids spotted Lisa. He fired his tag weapon, but Lisa dodged with the quick reflexes that came from a lifetime on a high-gravity world. When the barriers suddenly went down, Vornful realized what had happened. He rushed to protect the flag, but Ethan was already there. The 2 faced each other in the center of the fallen fortress. "Impossible," Vornful hissed. "No primitive species could defeat us." Ethan grabbed the flag. "Maybe it's time to reconsider what primitive means." As Team Earth was declared the winner of Day 1, Commander Zirex received an urgent message. He read it quickly, his compound eyes widening. "Interesting," he whispered. "The human display has attracted attention from the highest levels." Team Earth woke early the next morning, preparing for the second day of war games. The humans were sore but excited after their victory. As they entered the dining hall, other cadets looked at them with new respect. "Your performance yesterday was impressive," Elora said, joining them at their table. "No first-year team has ever advanced to the finals so quickly." "Thanks," Kate replied, "though I think some competitors still aren't happy about it." She nodded toward Vornful and his team, who glared at the humans from across the room. "The final challenge is the hardest," Elora continued. "A space battle simulation using real ships." Daniel looked concerned. "We have no experience with your spacecraft." "Lisa might," Ethan said. "She's been studying alien tech since we arrived." Lisa nodded. "I can handle the engineering systems. Daniel knows tactics. Kate can manage communications. And I'll try not to crash us," Ethan added with a smile. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed on every wall. Commander Zyrex's voice came over the speakers. "All cadets return to quarters immediately. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." The dining hall erupted in chaos as cadets rushed for the exits. The human team stayed together, moving against the crowd toward the command center. "We should find out what's happening," Ethan said. When they reached the command center, they found Commander Zarex and the Academy leadership gathered around holographic displays. The images showed several ships under attack. "Those are Academy vessels," Lisa whispered, recognizing the markings. A tall alien in a senior officer uniform noticed them. "Why are these cadets here? Return to your quarters immediately." "Sir," Ethan stepped forward. "We want to help." Commander Zarex turned to them. "Pirates are attacking our outlying systems. All senior cadets have been activated as reserve forces, including us," Kate asked. "No," the senior officer answered quickly. "Humans are not cleared for combat operations." Commander Zarex moved closer to the humans. "Actually, there is something you can do. Follow me." He led them to a smaller room filled with communication equipment. "We need to analyze incoming data from the attack sectors. Your unique perspectives might help." "You're keeping us away from the action," Daniel said bluntly. Commander Zyrex's antenna twitched. "I am keeping you safe and useful." As the commander left, Kate started examining the communication feeds. "Something's not right here. These aren't random pirate attacks. They're too coordinated." Lisa accessed the sensor readings. "Look at their attack patterns. They knew exactly where our ships would be. And they're jamming specific Academy frequencies," Daniel added, studying the tactical displays. Ethan looked at his team. "Someone leaked our defense protocols." For hours, they analyzed the data while listening to reports of Academy ships being overwhelmed. When Commander Zarex returned, his exoskeleton looked dull with exhaustion. "The pirates have destroyed 3 vessels and are moving toward the Academy itself," he said. "Commander," Kate said carefully, "we believe these aren't pirates. The attack patterns suggest military training. And they knew where our ships would be positioned." Lisa added. Commander Zyrex's compound eyes fixed on them. "That information was classified." "Exactly," Daniel said. "Someone gave them our defense plans." Suddenly, the station shook violently. Warning lights flashed. "They're here," Commander Zarex said. "All cadets are now officially activated for station defense." As they rushed to the main hall, they passed the training bay where the War Games ships were docked. Ethan stopped. "Those ships are small enough to avoid detection, and fast enough to warn the returning Academy fleet," Lisa added. "Are you suggesting what I think you are?" Kate asked. Daniel smiled grimly. "War Games just became real." Ethan looked at each of his teammates. "This is dangerous and probably against a dozen Academy rules." "Since when has that stopped humans?" Lisa asked. As alarms continued to sound throughout the station, the 4 humans made their decision. They slipped into the training bay toward a small ship designed for cadet exercises. "Commander Zarex put us on data analysis for a reason," Kate said as they approached the ship. "He wanted us to figure it out." "Then let's not disappoint him," Ethan replied, opening the ship's hatch. The training ship was small, designed for practice missions rather than real combat. As the humans climbed aboard, Lisa went straight to the engineering section. "The controls are similar to what I've been studying," she said, her fingers moving quickly over the alien panels. "Give me 5 minutes." Daniel found the tactical station. "Weapons are training models. Low power, but better than nothing." "Can we fly this thing?" Kate asked, looking at the pilot's seat. Ethan sat down and studied the controls. "It's not that different from the simulators we've been using. Basic principles are the same." Outside, they could hear the station's alarms growing louder. Through the viewport, they saw Academy security forces rushing toward the training bay. "They've noticed we're gone," Daniel said. Lisa connected her tablet to the ship's computer. "I'm bypassing the security lockouts. They don't want cadets taking these ships without permission." "For good reason," Kate muttered. The ship's engines hummed to life. Lights flickered on across the control panel. "We're powered up," Ethan said. "Everyone strap in." Just as security forces entered the bay, Ethan activated the launch sequence. The bay doors weren't open, but Lisa had already found the emergency override. "Commander Zyrex is contacting us," Kate said, pointing to a flashing light on the communication panel. She pressed the button, and Commander Zyrex's voice filled the cabin. "What do you think you're doing? Return to the station immediately." "We can't do that, Commander," Ethan replied. "Someone needs to warn the returning fleet. The attackers know all our defense codes." "This is a direct order," Zyrex insisted. "You have no authorization." Lisa cut the communication. "Sorry, Commander. Human hearing must be malfunctioning." The bay doors opened slowly. Ethan guided the ship forward, its small engines pushing against the artificial gravity. "We're clear," he announced as they emerged into open space. The view outside was chaos. Several larger ships surrounded the Academy station, firing weapons that disrupted its shields. In the distance, they could see Academy vessels trying to return, but they were being intercepted by enemy fighters. "Those aren't pirates," Daniel said, studying the enemy formation. "That's a military attack pattern." "Can we reach our fleet?" Ethan asked. Kate worked at the communication station. "Regular channels are jammed. I'm trying to create an encrypted signal." Lisa moved to help her. "If we modify the training simulator to emit false signatures, it might confuse their jammers." While they worked, Ethan piloted the small ship away from the main battle, using debris and disabled vessels for cover. The training ship was nearly invisible on sensors due to its small size. "I've got something," Kate said suddenly. A partial message from one of the enemy ships. She played the intercepted communication. The language was strange, but Kate had studied enough to understand the basics. "They're planning to board the Academy," she translated. "They want the research data." And she paused, listening more carefully. "They specifically mentioned humans." "Us?" Daniel asked. "Why would they care about us?" "Maybe the same reason the Academy has been studying us," Ethan suggested. "They think humans have military value." Lisa finished her modifications to the communication system. "Try now, Kate." Kate activated the new frequency. "This is Academy training vessel to returning fleet. The station is under attack. Enemies have our defense codes. Approach with caution." Repeat, "Enemies have our defense codes." They waited, hoping their message had gotten through. Suddenly, a massive ship appeared directly in their path. It was 3 times the size of their small vessel. "Enemy command ship," Daniel said quietly. "And they've spotted us." The larger ship fired a tractor beam, pulling their small craft toward its docking bay. "We can't break free," Ethan said, fighting the controls. "Don't try," Daniel suggested. "Let them bring us in." The others looked at him in surprise. "Think about it," he continued. "They don't know we're human. They'll expect Academy cadets who surrender immediately." Lisa understood first, but instead, they'll get Deathworlders. "Exactly," Daniel said with a grim smile. "Time to show them what humans can really do." The enemy ship pulled their small vessel into a massive docking bay. Through the viewports, the humans could see dozens of armed soldiers waiting. The soldiers were tall with gray skin and 4 arms, each holding a different weapon. "Guardians," Kate whispered. "They're mercenaries from the outer systems." "How many?" Ethan asked. "At least 30, Daniel replied, checking the external cameras. Lisa finished working on her tablet. "I've accessed their ship systems. Their internal atmosphere is set for methane breathers." "Can you change it?" Ethan asked. Lisa shook her head. "Not from here. But our Academy training suits can handle it for about 30 minutes. They quickly put on their environmental suits, sleek bodysuits designed for training in various planetary conditions. The suits were not meant for combat, but they would allow the humans to breathe. "Everyone remember the plan?" Ethan asked as they gathered by the airlock. Daniel nodded. "I'll head for their weapons control." "I'll find their communication center," Kate said. "And I'll access their environmental systems," Lisa added. "I'll create a diversion," Ethan finished. Stay in contact through the suit communicators. The ship jolted as it locked into place. The airlock hissed as the enemy started forcing it open. They expect scared cadets, Ethan reminded them. Let's show them what humans can do. When the door opened, greenish gas flooded in. 4 Quardian soldiers entered, weapons ready. They seemed surprised to find the ship empty. The humans had hidden in the maintenance shafts above. As the last soldier passed beneath them, they dropped down. Ethan landed on 2 soldiers, his Earth-trained muscles easily overpowering them despite their extra arms. Daniel disarmed another with a quick strike. Kate and Lisa subdued the 4th before he could call for help. Their armor is tough, Daniel said, examining a fallen soldier. But these might help. He picked up 2 shock buttons, handing one to Ethan. 30 minutes starting now, Lisa warned, checking her suit's oxygen meter. They split up. Ethan moved toward the front of the ship, creating noise to draw attention. Meanwhile, the others slipped away toward their targets. Lisa found an access panel and connected her tablet. "I'm in their systems," she said through the communicator. Their ship design is similar to Academy vessels. Daniel reached a security checkpoint. 3 guards stood between him and the weapons control room. He waited until they turned, then moved with the silent speed that had evolved on a predator-filled world. Kate reached the communications center first. Inside, Quardian officers were directing the attack on the Academy. She stayed hidden, recording their transmissions with her suit's equipment. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Intruder alert. Unknown species detected in Section 4. They spotted me. Ethan's voice came through the communicator, moving to Plan B. Through the ship's internal cameras, the other humans watched as Ethan ran down a corridor, pursued by at least 10 Quardian soldiers. His suit showed damage, but he moved with incredible speed. "Our suits are showing critical," Lisa warned. "Oxygen at 40%. Daniel reached the weapons control room. Inside, he disabled the systems controlling the ship's external weapons. "Main guns offline," he reported. Kate broadcast the evidence of the planned attack to all ships in range. "Message sent," she confirmed. Lisa accessed the environmental controls. "Ready on your command, Ethan." Ethan had reached a dead end. Soldiers approached from all sides, weapons aimed at him. A Quardian officer stepped forward. "Surrender, Academy Cadet," the officer demanded. Ethan removed his helmet, revealing his human face. The Quardians stepped back in shock. "Deathworlder," one gasped. "And I'm not alone," Ethan replied. "Now, Lisa." Lisa activated her program. Throughout the ship, the atmospheric controls shifted. Oxygen flooded in, replacing the methane mixture. The Quardians began to choke and stagger. Their respirators were designed for brief exposure to oxygen, not a complete atmospheric change. Broadcast the video feed, Daniel told Kate as his suit's oxygen warning flashed red. Kate connected to every screen on every ship in the attacking fleet. The video showed the humans moving freely while soldiers collapsed around them. "Let them see," she said, "what happens when you challenge Deathworlders." The 4 humans regrouped near the command bridge of the enemy ship. Their environmental suits were failing, with oxygen levels dropping into the red zone. "We have maybe 5 minutes before these suits give out," Lisa warned. "Then we finish this quickly," Ethan said. The bridge doors were sealed, but Lisa's control of the ship's systems allowed them to bypass the security. When the doors slid open, they found the ship's commander and 5 officers still functioning with personal breathing equipment. "Stop where you are," the commander ordered. He was taller than the other Quardians, with decorated armor and a scar across his face. Daniel stepped forward with a captured shock baton. "Your weapons are offline. Your soldiers can't breathe. Your fleet can see everything happening on this ship." "Who are you?" demanded the commander. "Humans," Kate answered. "From Earth." "The Deathworlders," one officer whispered, backing away. Ethan moved closer to the commander. "Order your fleet to stand down." "Never," the commander snarled, drawing a personal weapon. He fired at Ethan. The blast hit him in the shoulder, tearing through his suit. Ethan staggered but remained standing. The Guardians watched in shock as Ethan straightened up despite his injury. "Our bodies evolved to survive damage," Ethan said through gritted teeth. "What would kill your species only makes us angry." The commander's weapon fell from his hands. Impossible. Throughout the ship, the video feeds continued broadcasting. The attacking fleet watched as a wounded human kept fighting despite an injury that would have killed most species. Lisa checked her tablet. Incoming transmission from the enemy fleet. One by one, the attacking ships began powering down their weapons. On the main screen, they watched as vessels broke formation and moved away from the Academy. "They're retreating," Daniel said in disbelief. Kate checked the communication panel. Multiple ships are signaling surrender. The commander looked at the screens, then back at the humans. His shoulders slumped in defeat. The legends were true. Deathworlders cannot be stopped by conventional means. "Order your remaining forces to surrender," Ethan demanded, still holding his wounded shoulder. The commander activated the ship-wide communication system. "All forces, stand down. Repeat, stand down." 20 minutes later, Academy security forces boarded the command ship. They found the 4 humans in the control room, their suits failing but still alive. The enemy officers sat quietly, weapons on the floor. "How did you?" Commander Xerex began as medical teams treated the humans. "We used what makes us different," Lisa explained. "Our ability to function in oxygen while they needed methane. And they saw what humans can endure," Daniel added, gesturing to Ethan's wound. Back at the Academy a week later, the 4 humans stood in the main hall before all the cadets and instructors. Admiral Corvus, head of the Academy, addressed the gathering. "Today we honor these cadets who saved the Academy from a coordinated attack," the Admiral said. "What we thought was a pirate raid was actually a test." The humans exchanged confused looks. The Galactic Security Council wanted to evaluate Earth's potential threat level. Commander Xerex explained. "They orchestrated this scenario to see how humans would respond." "You knew about this?" Kate asked in shock. "Not until it was underway," the Admiral replied. "The test was designed to push humans to their limits. No one expected you to capture an enemy command ship." Vornthal approached the humans. The Draconid now showed respect rather than contempt. "Your species has earned its place here," he said, bowing slightly. "The test results are clear." Admiral Corvus continued. "Humans will not be quarantined. Instead, all military academies will now include human training methods." Commander Xerex handed each human a new uniform with special insignia. "You are no longer cadets. You have earned full status as Academy officers." As they accepted their new ranks, Ethan looked at his team. "We came here to learn," he said quietly. "Instead, we taught them something about humans." "What's that?" Lisa asked. Ethan smiled. "Never underestimate Deathworlders.